Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. at Minden City Hall Council Chambers for our annual, not our annual, but our monthly meeting. Our opening prayer will be Michael Roy. Our pledge will be Wayne Edwards. And I'd like to welcome everybody. And if you would please silence your cell phones, I'd appreciate it.
You ready? Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day of life. We thank you for the many blessings that you've given us. Dear Lord, we pray that we just conduct this meeting in accordance to your will and to your way. We ask that you go with us through the rest of this week, guide us and direct us in all things, watch over each and every employee here at the City of Minden and the constituents that we all represent. We ask this in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like a motion to amend the printed agenda to add item G, which is personnel for police department new hires.
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Roy,
Seconded.
seconded by Ms. Bloxham. Is there any questions about adding to the agenda? Tonight we're gonna vote the old-fashioned way where we say yay or nay, and when you vote for the yays, if you'll raise your right hand. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion fails on the police new hires.
Was it 3-2, Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess not.
We need to adopt the minutes of the City Council regular session held on October 4th, 2021. Do I have a motion for that?
So move.
Motion made by Wayne Edwards,
Second.
seconded by Michael Roy. Do we have any discussion on the minutes? There being no discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
3-2. Item B on the agenda is for Chief Kip Morad to make a presentation on some smoke detectors.
I'd like to let everybody know that Walmart has donated, well, there's going to be probably a total of 100 smoke alarms, your home smoke alarms, but they only have 50 in right now, and they brought them to us at the fire station. And I'd just like to tell them thank them for that. They did it before, probably about 4 years ago, and we let the citizens know that they can call the fire station or either come by. They have to fill out a little form, and we'll put it up for them if they're not able to put it up. But I just want to tell Walmart appreciate them, and a lady named Pam Calhoun who works for Walmart, who she did everything to arrange this. So, but also we would like people to get them that need them. We found out before that we've gone to a house to put a smoke detector up in a 1,600-foot square house and counted 10 smoke detectors in the house already. And so we check their batteries in every one of them, and to make sure they work. So we want them for people who need them. So that's all we ask, or who can't put them up themselves or anything like that. But I just letting citizens know. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay.
We appreciate that, Kip, and we also appreciate Walmart and their community spirit and the support that they give us here at the city.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is item C, adopt a resolution for the budget for 2021 and 2022 for the City of Minden. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution adopting the City of Minden 21-22 budget as presented.
Motion made by Michael Roy. Do I have a second?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
seconded by Pam Bloxham. Is there any discussions?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I know since September, we've been working, trying to approve this budget, and there's been some discussion, maybe not enough, but there has been some discussion. I just want to share 3 issues that was concerning to me, and 2 of them we are currently working on. That was to improve communications between the council and the mayor so that we can all basically get on the same team. The second one, when it comes to manager or higher positions, that the council be involved in any raise above what's written in the employee manual. And the last one, there was discussion about the rate of pay for HR position. And we sit down and talked, and we come to a conclusion, 6%, that's lower than the 10% that was allocated to help cause some of the confusion. I just want that to be part of the record, and the fact that not only does the mayor want to move the city forward, the council do too, but we want to be a part of what's going on. This is one unit, not an individual unit. And just for note, since we have a city charter, and under the city charter, we are council strong, which means the vote here is extremely important as to what we do, and we take this responsibility extremely serious. Just want that to be part of the record.
Do we have any other questions or discussion?
I just would like to thank Mr. Wayne for trying to come up here and working, sitting down with Terry and Michael, trying to figure out a way to get your items resolved. And from my understanding, April came as well and sat down with you and...
Michael, let me say something. I don't mean to cut you off.
Certainly.
I appreciate what you're saying. I'm more concerned about moving the city forward. And if we can come to a conclusion on this, let's put yesterday behind us and look for a brighter day tomorrow.
So can I finish now?
Well, I guess you can. You got the floor.
So I guess my understanding, Mayor, if I understand correct, the salary of April's was changed or agreed to be changed from
Correct.
the raise.
Correct.
So we went back down to the
She offered-
6%.
She offered to change her salary.
Okay. And then I guess Phillips will be going away, so that's not a contention there. I just don't see what else is causing this budget not to be approved for the people of Minden. Those people are hurting, you know, and that's a shame. I'm done.
Do we have any other discussion? There being no other discussion, all in favor of the 2021-2022 City of Minden budget, say aye and raise your right hand.
Aye.
Motion passed, what, no?
Opposed.
Ms. Walker, did you say aye? Okay, it passed unanimously. Item D on the agenda is the solid waste collection and disposal contract.
You ready for?
Do I have a motion?
Okay. I move to authorize the mayor to negotiate, enter into, and sign a 7-year contract with Republic for the solid waste collection and disposal for the city of Minden, contingent upon meeting all specifications and requirements.
Second.
Motion made by Pam Bloxham, seconded by Michael Roy. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Walker, did you say aye? Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Item E on the agenda is your budget and financial report for August 2021. Mr. Fleur.
Good evening. Let me make first a correction. It should be for the month of September. But however, I only have a few things tonight. First, let me say thank you to the council members for coming together and finally approve the budget. It is very difficult to operate under a 50% budget because in some instances you're going to create enemies because you have to deny whatever actually would be necessary because of your 50% in the background. So I really appreciate that it was a unanimous vote tonight to approve that budget. And we can move forward and operate under normal circumstances. Second, we provided to you a preliminary budget report for the month of September. The reason for that is the month of September, we're going to still hold open for accounting procedures. We have to make some amendments and so on. So at the moment, it's a preliminary report. If you're going to look on the last page, you have all major funds, and you see under the line a negative balance of 2.4 million. We had talked in multiple council meetings about the American Rescue Plan, the money we received, but the money came in on October the 1st. So we have to see what we're going to do. The amount we received was 2.189 million, and there was discussion way before how we handle that money. So at the moment, I leave it like it is. The audit have started, and we are talking to the new audit company. Number 3, everybody remembers in the last council meeting there was a survey announced, the survey about adding $5 to the utility bill to subsidize or help to pay for pay raises for the first responders. 6,746 cards, postcards were mailed out with
What was that number?
6,746 mailed out with the utility bills, and there was written on the bottom, the return deadline was October the 30th. So the last cards which came in over the weekend, I counted in this morning. Out of the 6,746 cards, 725 were returned. 725 cards were returned. 16 of the 725 did not qualify to be counted for various reasons. For an example, somebody voted yes and no. So, or there were 2 cards, double cards. Same person filled out second card. There were 3 cards, no name, no account number, no selection. 3 inactive accounts, and 6 accounts, no selection, but a name and an account. So the person did not show the intention, what he wanted to do. That made it a total of 16 cards. Out of which leaves 709 cards left to be counted for. 240 cards were in favor adding $5 to the utility bill. 469 cards indicated a no. Don't add $5 to the utility bill. If you need the numbers again, 469 not in favor, 240 in favor. The next point I want to make is our sales tax. All these previous months, we saw a monthly increase in the sales tax, increase, until this month. The Webster Parish Sales Tax Commission collected a total of $662,666, which is less than the previous months. Excuse me, no, not less than the previous months. Compared to last year, it is less. A year ago, we had 692,735. And the previous month was 582,635. So we still had an increase of $80,000, but compared to the previous year, we are less. I mentioned a couple times before that we see sales tax above the budgeted amount. The collected sales tax was $7.3 million for this fiscal year. 7.3, budgeted amount was 6.3. So we are roughly $1 million above. But don't forget, look at the funds on the budget report in the back. Even with that money going in there, it's still a negative amount. And the last thing I have is money in the bank, 18.1 million. Previous month, 17.1. Previous year, 18.1. So that's all what I have for tonight.
Anybody have any questions of Mr. Fleur?
Michael, how did the overtime look for last month? Do you have any idea?
In September,
Yeah,
the total overtime,
yeah.
no.
Okay,
I would have to add it up.
that's okay.
Any more questions of Mr. Fleur? Thank you, Mr. Fleur. We'll move to the police report.
Okay, month of August, we collected $11,698 in city fines, $350 to the crime lab, $425 to city court, $390 to the marshal's office, $565 to the indigent defender's office, $26 to the clerk's fund, $97.50 to the Ware Center, $18 to the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement, $157.50 to the off-duty witness fees, $39 to the court case management information system, $45 to the Louisiana Traumatic Head and Spinal Cord Injury Trust Fund, $130 to the Judicial Building Fund, $4.50 to the Judicial Education Fund, totaling $13,945.50.
Do I have a motion to accept his report?
So moved.
Motion made by Wayne Edwards,
Second.
seconded by Michael Roy. Is there any discussions or questions? There being none, cast your vote, please, by saying yes and raise your right hand.
Yes.
Opposed? Ms. Walker, how did you vote? Yes, okay. Unanimous. Okay, your oral report, I'm sorry.
Okay, month of October, Minden Police Department worked 38 accident reports. Two of those were actually three vehicles involved. We responded to 668 calls for service. We served 79 arrest warrants, we issued 79 arrest warrants, 58 of those warrants were served. Incident reports, we took 163 incident reports. We made 61 arrests, wrote 82 regular citations. We wrote 23 step citations, and 29 step citations were paid during the month of October. Ms. Bloxham had sent me a message and asked me to research, and our system doesn't research on calls for service, because like a lot of times when Walmart gets a call for us, the address is given at 79 in Homer Road or 531 in Homer Road. So it can't track it. The only way I can track it is by incidents and arrests. And in your district in October, we worked 24 incidents in your district, and 6 of those were actually at Walmart.
Okay.
And in your district, we made 6 arrests, and 3 of those were at Walmart.
Okay.
And I have the rest of the districts if you're interested in your.
Yeah, I would like to hear for each one. Just
District A, we had 61 incidents and 16 arrests. District B, we had 28 incidents. Excuse me. District B, we had 28 incidents and 21 arrests. District C, we have 25 incidents and 6 arrests. District D, we had 16 incidents and 1 arrest.
thank you very much.
And that's basically all I have.
Can you repeat that STEP program?
Yes.
Arrest and the fine.
The STEP program, and
I heard you say something about 23 STEP.
yeah, we wrote 23 step citations and 29 step citations were paid in the month of October.
Is anybody,
How is this program going?
Well, if we had the manpower to put it out there, it'd be great. We just don't have the people to put out there.
How much have you paid back to the city?
I can't answer that. You'd have to
Can
ask.
you answer that for me?
$99,000 few $100. Totally collected $121,000. Let's check.
any more questions of Chief Cropper? Thank you, Chief. We're going to go to public comments, and when you come up, if you'll tell us your name and the district that you live in, and we're limiting all comments to 3 minutes. Does anybody have any comments?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Dennis Miles, District D. E. Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
Look, I just want to revisit last month, see where we at on the handbook. Can you tell us that? Give us a timeline.
Yes, sir. We've got a meeting scheduled on the handbook. Our HR director's here. When is that meeting scheduled? On the 8th, yes, sir. So we're moving forward.
What about completion?
Completed. The handbook will be for the council to review and go over. It should be in its completed stage.
Okay, my second question being, time's running out. When are we going to vote on the city attorney, as far as the city council?
We have a city attorney.
City council's never voted on him. I thought the handbook said that was the council's.
Under regular situations, that you're
So we're
correct.
still operating from an opinion from the state attorney
Yes, sir.
general?
Yes, sir.
Is that opinion in writing, or was it text, or how was that communicated?
No, sir, I've answered that question before. If you'd like to come by my office, I can answer any questions you
You
have.
can't tell me that, Mayor?
Well, I just told you. I said the same, I've answered it before. It's not a written opinion, it's a verbal opinion.
So only you are privy to that opinion?
Correct.
Okay. So we're not going by the handbook?
Not in that particular situation. The council would not come to
Even
me.
though COVID-19 is still not a factor, Mayor? Even though the council's been meeting for months, we still hadn't addressed the city attorney?
No, sir, we have not.
Can I ask the city attorney, since he gives legal opinions, in your opinion, sir, is your employment legal?
Is my employment legal?
Yes, with the city of Minden,
I believe it is, yes.
according to the handbook.
Well, the handbook actually, to my knowledge, doesn't say anything about it. The charter says it, that it has to be upon adoption of the council. But given the issues that were going on last spring, I believe the appointment is legal. But I would not comment any further on it just because it's pretty much attorney-client privilege between myself and the city. I defer to the mayor and the council as to whether or not those issues would be addressed to you, but I can't as the attorney because of privilege reasons, but it's the city's privilege, so that'd be their place to answer those questions.
It's hard for me to understand that the council's been meeting for 3 months, at least, and we still hadn't addressed that. You said we're operating from something that you and the state attorney general advised you on.
Thank you. Do we have any more comments or questions from the audience? Mr. Wait, Philip, Mr. McInnes, Mr. McInnes, come on up.
I'm Philip McInnes. I'm a lifelong resident here and planning on continuing to be a lifelong resident here. Say the truth, I came up here to express my disgust over the ongoing inability to pass our budget. So I'm thrilled to sit here and see that passed tonight. And I'm going to try and stay in a brief and positive mode. I do respect what Councilman Edwards said about trying to look forward, but I got to say at the same time, it's just been extremely discouraging to see the city miss out on things like grants, that it could have had, and have that either missed out on altogether or delayed because we didn't have a budget passed, things like that. Here's my little card about the water, quality, which is not a big deal, but as far as any immediate urgent thing, but one of the 2 cures was for the problem of no backup generator for Victory Park Pumping Station. Action taken. A backup generator for the Victory Park Pumping Station was planned and budgeted, but the budget has not been approved. That's just a minor little, example of what I'm talking about. But I agree with what Councilman Edwards said about you guys have now passed it, and I regret that it wasn't in time to salvage our economic, development person. And I hope we don't wind up paying more money for whoever has to replace him. But I do greatly appreciate that you have gotten together and gotten this resolved. And personally feel like that it was an organization of this size should be some of these decisions that we're arguing over are correct to be handled by the mayor as the executive. I'll say that I talked to somebody on the street just the other day who I respect, who felt exactly the opposite from what I felt about how these things should be handled, and everybody being in on the decision. I don't think that's an effective way to run an organization this size, but there was somebody, like I said, that I respect that felt different. The bottom line is, I think the city desperately needs for you guys to be there for meetings, to not move forward because people aren't showing up for, and intentionally not showing up for meetings and things like that, just seems beyond the pale to me. I'm running out of time, but I wanted to note this.
Mr. McKinney.
You know, you may all feel very secure about, getting reelected and so on and so forth. The people I'm concerned about voting are people that are voting with their feet. Many of them are leaving Minden. People outside of our community or that might be looking for a place to live are not choosing to come here. And this type of dysfunction is what is not going to help us at all.
Thank you, Mr.
So
McKinney.
I will quit on that note. I've run out of time, but I want to thank you again for taking action tonight that was long overdue, and it is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McInnes.
Good evening. Joel Kendrick. I'm the Minden Police Association Vice President. I want to thank each and every one of you. For purely selfish reasons, I can sleep better at night now that I know that we're going to continue to operate for one more year. So I thank each and every one of you for that. It's not the whole total victory I wanted to see tonight, but we're going to relish in the victories that we have. We've thrown some of our shackles off and we can run forward at a brisk pace. But what I do want to bring up is we were honored to be able to participate with the library and at the rec center with the trunk or treats on Thursday and also on Saturday. We had a great turnout, lots of kids. We were able to give out candy, lots of big smiling faces from all areas of the city, and we just really enjoyed being a part of that. And we want to thank the city for putting on, and the Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to be at the rec center to see all those smiling faces and all those children dressed for Halloween. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Do we have any more? Philip, we're going to save you to last. You give us your name and the district you live in, please, ma'am.
Jovelyn Hardy, and I think it's E.
What street do you live on?
I'm on Rebecca Street.
Oh, what street?
Rebecca.
Rebecca?
Rebecca.
And you said E?
D or E.
C.
Am I
C? C.
That's
C.
new to me. I'm learning. So I just returned back to Minden. I've been gone 30 years, so I've met you quite a few times. So
Yes, ma'am.
the main thing that I'm interested, in learning is how do you guys get voters' information out? I'm used to we call them booklets, where I just moved from Oregon and usually get that information out to you within 5 to 6 months before it's time to vote, so the community can know what new laws, petitions, or ordinances, whatever you all call it, that you're going to need to vote on. So I'm just interested how we can get that started. I'm here to help, not to complain.
We usually get that in the newspaper. We've got Wayne McMahon here tonight to talk about something that's going to be on this coming ballot. The voter registration, they have the information there as well.
Okay.
But that's how we get that out.
Okay.
There
And
also
And
is an
it's
app.
also on our,
There's an app.
yeah, there's an app, and it's also on our city Facebook page as well, and our website.
okay. And I was in the overflow room at first, so there were some projectors in there, but they're not down and no volume. So when you guys get a big, crowd that comes, it'd be great if we can have that. And just wanted to offer some more services. You told me to leave a message with the city. I've left several messages. I'm a trauma-informed care certified trainer. So I am offering services to the city of Minden, free and charging, but I do want to be a part of developing a trauma-informed care community involving churches, city, state officials, medical, EMS, and police officers. So I'm offering that again.
I think I visited with you down at Babs Park, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
And,
Left a message for
and
me.
still come by and visit with me at my office.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll hold you to it.
All righty.
Thank
Well,
you.
now come on by, I'm there. Thank you, ma'am. Do we have any other comments? No other comments? Mr. Smart, could you come give us an update on economic development and your farewell speech?
Of course. Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for having me. Just wanted to give an update on our economic development for the city of Minden as I leave my office. So as we're coming to year end for occupational license and they're starting to renew, I'm happy to say that taking in occupational license before we took it over and it was done by a third party, we received probably $240,000. At the end of that, this year, we've received over $600,000. So that's a $400,000 increase, which I'm proud to say that me and my assistant did very well. I'm glad to see that this is taken more seriously and more in debt, and that way we can use this revenue for our general fund so we can make sure that our line crew, our street crew get the raises they deserve and need. We have certified properties that are going to be certified probably around the 1st of January, 2nd of January, which means big companies, industrial companies, and manufacturing companies will have a site, and there will be no guessing on, what the kilowatts are, the fiber optics out there, the sewer, the water. Everything's done, environmental studies and everything, so they're not taking any risk on buying the property. This will help us land a bigger manufacturer industrial company to come inside the city limits of Minden. We also have some good news because of non-disclosures. I can't share with you exactly the names, but we will be having some film industry in town. When you see the film crews, you cannot go up to them. Do not walk up to them and touch them. If you want to get autographs, try to save it for a later date. But please, please stay away from the film crews when they're in the city of Minden, okay? We started a local Facade grant. It was me and some staff attorneys for the TIF district. Started explaining some things we could use these TIF funds for, and we're going to try to reach out to the local business owners to help basically better market their building from the outer appearance. And so we could use some of these tax dollars for the local and not just, parish and state. I also had the pleasure of finally opening up the meat processing plant, which is parish meat processing in the SWID. That was one of the last available buildings we had in the Southwestern Industrial District, which is going towards Sibley. Right now, we don't have any more room out there, so we are currently looking for another industrial site to have an industrial park so we can create more spec buildings for further growth for the city of Minden. We also have 2 major truck stops that are looking at building inside the city of Minden, so we'll be working on annexation of property to make sure one of those truck stops is in the city of Minden so they can sell alcohol beverages and make sure we get that tax revenue off that. We also have a hotel industry that is looking at the industrial drive spot. We had to wait on a STAR report, which my prayers with Serena Gray with Western Tourism. Of course, she is out of the office right now, so Ms. Johnny Keenan was able to relieve that information to us, so now we can start moving forward with the hotel information. I can't release the name because of non-disclosure agreement, but we do have a nice cafe that will be coming in around Main Street pretty soon, so I'm excited about that as well. And of course, we've been working with Hunt Forest Products Industry, which is going to be over 500 employees in BMO Parish, Ada Taylor Exit, and of course, their workforce is going to be mainly coming from our community college or Louisiana Tech with their engineering school, because the sawmill is basically ran by robots and not actual individuals. We've also been in contact with them, so whenever they're building the site for this sawmill, that they could stay at the hotels here in Minden as well. So we're working with some of the hotels in this area to get affordable and better rates for them staying that long. So that's pretty much it as we come to a close. I'm definitely here and willing to help us replace the economic development. If it's not in the cards, during my length of time here, I'll be in Lincoln Parish at the city of Ruston, so I'm just a phone call away. I'm just down the road. Me and my family are still going to reside in the city of Minden because we do love Minden. We want to make sure our family grows here. I just want to make sure that we maintain our attitude economically to make sure that we pursue our goals and keep coming forth and being prosperous. We can argue about how this is the best to achieve our goals, but we can't be complacent about the goals themselves. For if we don't create opportunity for all people, this disaffection and division that has stalled our progress will only sharpen in years to come. It's been a pleasure serving you all and the citizens of Minden. I definitely love it here, and it's definitely hard to say goodbye. But I know there's some turmoil in the waters, and things haven't been the greatest, but we all came over here in different ships. But now we're in the same boat.
That's right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Philip.
Philip, you've done an amazing job for the city. I've watched you grow in this position and do an amazing job. We wish you the very best of luck in your new position at the City of Ruston, and I would like to thank you for all the jobs that you've brought to Minden, all the industry that you've brought to Minden, the positive impact that you've brought to Minden, and I wish you and your family very well. But on the second note, I would like to thank you for staying in Minden because I know where you live. Okay, and we've got State Representative Wayne McMahon, and he's going to talk to us about one of the taxes coming up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Appreciate y'all letting me have just a minute tonight to let you know about the opportunity we have coming up on the ballot on November the 13th. The first meeting I went to as a representative was a meeting about how we need to change taxes in Louisiana, our tax structure. Former Representative Steve Carter, who passed away with COVID, was the one that invited me down there. So since then, I've listened to a lot of hours over the last 3 years of where we're at with our tax structure in Louisiana, and none of it's good. We're rated number 49th in the nation by the Tax Foundation. And you look at reasons why we need to pass these two amendments, the easiest one, look at our census in North Louisiana. What's happened over the last 10 years? We've lost over 10% of the population in my district. Bossier City has grown a little bit, but Shreveport shrunk so much, some of that growth was probably from across the river. We've got to do something different in this state. We can't continue to be difficult for businesses to locate in our state. These first two amendments are critical. The First Amendment is going to redo the way we collect taxes. We're the only state, with the exception of one other that's a little ahead of us in changing, that continues to collect like we do locally. We're going to form a central collection. And everybody in North Louisiana is a little apprehensive about a central collection in South Louisiana. We're going to get our money back. The money, we're not going to send a $100 bill down there. It's going through a portal in Baton Rouge, one portal. And that portal is going to be a commission that's set up by 8 different representatives. First and foremost is the Louisiana Municipal Association will have one of those seats on there. The Police Jurors Association, the Sheriff's Association, the School Board Association. There will be a representative from the House, the Senate, the Governor, and Revenue. Those 8 people have to have a 2/3 vote to put anything in place to make it work for our state. And there are other states making this work. You know, technology has passed us by in Louisiana. I can take my cell phone and I can send Pam a payment and it doesn't get lost. You know, I can pay her on PayPal or other apps. And talking about apps, before I forget about that, Go Vote is the app that you can pull up and pull up the voting information for the whole state. It's a great app. There's another one, Louisiana Wallet. Everybody should have that. You can put your driver's license, your hunting and fishing license, your medical cards, all that on there. And I think one of them's a $5 charge, and I think the other one's free. But I digress to that. But going back to to our first constitutional amendment. Right now, if you're a business in Louisiana, you can be audited by 54 different entities if you're working in different parts of the state. Most states like Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, you get audited by one entity. I heard testimony on Ways and Means Committee in Baton Rouge. Stein Lumber, I don't know if anyone's familiar, is mostly in the southern part of the state. It's kind of like a Home Depot across South Louisiana, a great local home-owned business. The ladies that testified that worked for the company for 12 years, they had never not been under an audit in 12 years. That's not fair. Now, if you live out of the state and you're selling remotely into the state, you go through a portal. One person can audit you. Why do we make it difficult for our state, people that put brick and mortar in our state, and then we make it easier for somebody that sells from out of our state into our state? That's not fair. And talking about the population, jobs is what keeps our population stable or grows our population. If we don't have jobs, we're not going to grow. We're going to, in 10 years, be looking at another 10% decrease. Now, I'll tell you, Minden is very fortunate. The report in y'all's meeting tonight, I'm a little jealous living in Spring Hill. Y'all got a lot going on. You've got an interstate down here, and then the next place I see our state growing in northwest Louisiana is east, down the interstate. I think we've got an opportunity to get another industrial park out here on the, around the Goodwill Road. That would be great for us. But we've got to pass these first two constitutional amendments to move forward, and I'm worried about them. You know, when you go into the ballot box, and if you don't know what you're voting on, you see a constitutional amendment and tax. If you don't understand it, most people are going to vote no. So it's going to be a pretty big lift. The second one, the second constitutional amendment is going to lower our state income tax. We're the highest state income tax in the nation. If we pass this amendment, we'll be the lowest state income tax in the Southeast, fourth or fifth, maybe sixth in the nation. But that's a big, big move. The tax foundations and the rating commissions, they say we'll go from being rated 49 to somewhere in the 30s if we can pass these two amendments. And for a business that's looking at relocating or opening a business, when they look at a state, they look at these things. They don't want a situation where they have to jump through hoops to get their taxes collected, or their people that work there pay a high tax. We need to move our state income tax down. And the way we're going to keep this revenue neutral, by lowering the tax, we're going to take away the federal income tax deduction. We've just had a complicated way of getting to where we need to be. And I've got some literature here I'd love to hand out, and I've got more at the office if anyone wants it, but we're not going to raise more income or decrease it. It's a revenue neutral amendment that we have here. So saying that, we got to understand right now we're rated as far as tax per person right in the middle of all the states in the nation. That's kind of probably where you want to be. We're going to stay there, but we're going to uncomplicate the way we do the taxes by dropping the rate down from, I think it's 6%, and it's going to go to 4.75 on individuals. And it will open up, and this is just a starting point. There's more things that have to be done, but that will take legislation too, and it'll be down the road. We're trying to get the basics in place with these two amendments. And I just ask that you consider, and if you're not informed on it, and I'm amazed at the people I talk to, that when I say we need to look at these first two constitutional amendments and pass them, they know, what are they? And people that are in business that are not aware of it. The problem is we don't have anything else on the ballot in our parish coming up. That's all that's there. So if we had a mayor's election or a representative election, there'd be a bigger turnout. So we need to educate ourselves, make sure we understand them, and by all means, vote yes for the first two. There's 4 amendments on this first ballot. In December, there'll be 5 more constitutional amendments. There was 37 that come and tried to get passed through the legislature. 9 made it. And I think they're all good in their own case. But the first one went through the Senate and the House with no votes, and the governor signed it. The second one had 3 nay votes in the Senate and I think 4 in the House. And that's almost unheard of. So I just wanted to come tonight and let you know that I think we've got an opportunity to change our state. It may not be for me at 67 years old, but for my kids, my grandkids. I've got 3 kids. One's in Illinois, one's in Texas, and one's in Louisiana. I would give anything if they're all 3 in Louisiana. And I think this is an opportunity that we have before us to vote yes and pass these 2 amendments that would make our state and our cities like Minden, Spring Hill, stop losing their population and retaining it. I think it's a bigger opportunity for North Louisiana maybe than South Louisiana. Some things in South Louisiana never change. There's the Mississippi, mouth of the Mississippi River and the coast, that's going to be there. LSU, it's going to be there.
10, Interstate 10.
Yeah, Interstate 10. But I tell you what, Interstate 10 is about maxed out. Unless they can come up with a way of getting better transportation, a lot of that's going to move to Interstate 20 over the next 10 years, I feel like. And if we're in a position where we can be a little more receptive and applicable for business to locate, I think the corridor of Interstate 20 is going to be the one that grows, personally. If y'all got any questions, I'd love to try to answer them. The more I talk about taxes, the more I get confused, and I'll confuse y'all. But really the reason we need to do this, we need to stop the population of North Louisiana leaving. We need to offer jobs for our kids that are raised here, and they come back here and work here and make a good living. And I think that these 2 amendments would be the first step in that process. Any questions?
I have a quick question. So in the sales tax structure, do you see like the city of Minden still maintaining dollar for dollar? Or with this commission, are we going to start getting less money from the state?
More money, to be honest.
You think more?
I'll just say in Mississippi, when they instigated this, they went from their budget or their money went up about $300 million in Mississippi when they did that.
Where
For the
would,
state, for the entire state.
Mhm, for the state.
And-
I think we're missing remote capture.
like Amazon, something like that, or?
Amazon pays. They go through that portal.
Right.
But I'm going to give you, for instance, I remodeled my house. My wife been wanting me to remodel my house for 30 years. We'd moved every stitch of our furniture out. We were going to Baton Rouge last year when COVID hit. 7 days later, we had to come home. I didn't have anything in my house. The piano was the only thing left. Well, I got to calling around. She figured out what kind of appliances she wanted. And we'd looked in Shreveport and we found them, and that's where we were going to buy them. But I was just doing some research on the internet. So I called this place in Alabama. You've got to buy them here. We can save you $2,000 on taxes. We won't have to charge taxes. So not all remote sellers, if they don't sell over a certain threshold, they get away without paying their taxes. Mm-hmm. That's not fair to Main Street businesses.
Right.
Any other questions?
And that app is GEAUX,
Yeah.
Go.
not Go.
I'm asking not just for me, but the seniors too.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you for
Well, I
coming.
want to say thank you to Philip, too.
Oh, that other Philip.
Philip.
Smart.
Yeah, the other Philip. Thank you for all you've done for Minden, and I enjoyed working with you and look forward to you still being my constituent, and anytime I can help you, let me know. Thank y'all. I appreciate the council for the work you're doing. I know it's been a trying year or so, but, let's move forward and not only move our state forward, but let's move our city forward. Y'all got a lot you can get done in here.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks.
I would like for anybody that would like to take these Two
Can you
pages.
just lay them right there on the front counter, and they can pick them up as,
Two pages in there. One and the other one, two.
appreciate you. We're going to move to council comments, and we're going to start with District A, Wayne Edwards.
Okay, I have two statements to make. One of them represents something you said, Mr. McGinnis. When you speak on that card about the generated Victory Park, that's something that fell through the crack. 2017 is when the power plant went offline. We probably should have been looking at that generator about that time. I kind of hate that was put on that card because it's not really representative of the entire situation. It's just something we should have ordered before. And one thing that I do see, I talked to some of the department heads, they are trying to be a little bit more forward-looking to get some of this stuff ordered before we get in a crisis-type situation. And the second item, in District A, I'm still collecting survey cards for the community development grant. We still need a few more, so I'll still be knocking on your doors, people in District A. Thank you for your support. And Philip, good luck.
Let me kind of echo on that generator. Because of that issue that we had in 2017, we have received a FEMA grant for that. And now that we have a budget and some money, we can, because we have to pay for the generator for FEMA to reimburse us, so the generator's on track to get installed there. Okay, we're going to go to Ms. Walker in District B.
No comment.
No comment. Mr. Bradford, District C.
Good luck, Philip. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Mr. Roy, District D.
Chief, I'd like to say thank you and the other agencies for the arrest and things on this gang situation that we've got going on that's creating a lot of this shooting. So I appreciate the work you guys have done, the PD and everybody. I would like to press upon the mayor to call a special meeting for getting those guys hired. I also would like to ask the mayor to call a workshop so that the council can sit down and look at these water rates. I know before I came on board back in 17, I think we increased our water rates and such based off the CPI. So I'd like to visit that again and see what we can do. I expressed my concerns to the mayor about that. So we'll be looking at that pretty soon, hopefully. And Philip, I appreciate everything you've done. We've worked hand in hand on some things, and truly I do appreciate it and wish you and your family the best. I'm done.
Ms. Bloxham, District E.
I want to thank all of the community for the Halloween Fall Festival celebrations that we experienced this week. The Webster Parish Library, the Minden Rec, the Greater Minden Chamber of Commerce, and local area churches. Everyone offered great opportunities for our local families to participate in a safe environment, and I think that the most of the little people, the children, enjoyed themselves immensely. Philip, no words. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for Minden, and best of luck in Ruston for you and your family.
Okay, I want to remind everybody that the time changes this Saturday. We're going to fall back an hour, so when you go to bed, change your clock. I would like to thank everybody we had one of probably the largest Halloween seasons I have ever seen in the city of Minden. I think everybody had a great time. I know all the candy manufacturers really appreciate that. I would like to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving on Thursday, November the 25th. We have so much to be thankful for our families and our city and our nation. I'd like to remind everybody that we have a Clean Up Minden campaign. Our fall cleanup is going to be November the 29th through December the 4th. This is just trash only. We're not going to do white goods or batteries or tires or anything like that. This is just to clean up our roadways and byways. I've asked each city council member to form a a committee in each of their districts to clean up their districts. We're going to get different civic groups to clean up our main highways coming in town, so I'd appreciate that. And if you have any questions about that cleanup, please call the office, and you can either speak with me or Wanda, and we'll get you signed up. I would like to remind everybody that this weekend is Main to Main, the 5th and the 6th. That starts here in Minden and goes all the way to Spring Hill. If there's anything you want to sell or set up, now's the time to do it, because there's going to be plenty of people. Also, they're going to have Bricktown pop-up tents or sections over here in the Civic Center, and that's for different shops and everything to display and sell their Christmas items and giftwares that they have here in the city. So we encourage everybody to come to the Civic Center while they're out shopping Main to Main. Echoing what Mr. Edwards talked about on the $1.3 million sewer grant that we're working on, that's in District A and B. We have about 70-ish signatures that we need left. This Sunday, Tyler, guy sitting over there on the TV, Tyler and myself will be walking Sunday after church. So if you see a city truck with some lights on it, that's us. So we'd appreciate your signature and your support, because this is a new sewer for a lot of the streets and area in Mr. Edwards' district and Miss Walker's district. And we'd appreciate y'all helping us get those signed. And Philip, I think I've said about everything that I can say, and you know I'm always here, and I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to call you if we have any questions. And final but not least, I would like to thank the City Council for coming together and voting on the budget unanimously so our city can move forward. I think that's a big step that we made. Also, Chief Cropper, I will be calling a special session to get your 3 officers hired as quickly as possible. So let them know that we're still looking at them, because they're 3 really good candidates. And with that, everybody.
Wait. Aren't you going to do the night out parties?
No, sir, we're not doing that this time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Yoakum, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. God bless you.
Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.
Jimbo?
Has that always been there?